What up YouTube? My name is Marvin and today we're going to be talking about the Electro-Harmonix Mel 9 tape replay machine. Oh man, I have been wanting to do this video for so long. So first and foremost, you might be saying, what in the haberdashers is a Mel 9? So a Mel 9 is basically some kind of vintage keyboard synth effect thingy. I don't know all the technical stuff, you can Google it, but basically it had these really weird quirky sounds that have a distinct quality to the sound, and they just sound a certain way, you know what I mean? This pedal is designed to exhibit those sounds. It actually has 9 effects in it. So you've got orchestra, cello, strings, flute, clarinet, saxophone, brass, low choir, and high choir. This pedal retailed for about, I think, $230 when I got it, around 200 and change. A little pricey, but if you consider that there's 9 effects in this pedal, I think it's worth it. So you can see on the front of the pedal, you've got 5 knobs. It's very simple. So you've got your dry control, which controls whatever you're putting into the pedal. That could be your guitar, your bass, who knows, maybe your vocals. The effect controls, obviously, how loud the effect is. So you can mix and match to balance out the signal, depending on however you want to use it. Attack is a control that tells you how fast the effect is going to be coming into the signal. So if you have your attack knob low, that means the attack time is really small, so it comes in really fast. And then if you have it really high, that means the attack time is long, so there's more time for the effect to actually come into the signal. Sustain works in the same way, except instead it affects, you guessed it, sustain. So if you have your sustain really low, it won't sustain for that long. But if you have it really high, the notes will sustain long after you've played them. Then the last knob on the bottom is just letting you select which of the 9 effects that you're currently using. You also have an effect out and a dry out. So if you want to send your signal directly to another speaker or to some kind of mixer or something, that's what that's for. And that's pretty cool because now you can choose which signal you want to manipulate depending on maybe if you want to use a specific speaker, a specific amp or something. Quick note before I go into this demo, the pedal does work with bass guitar, but only down to the low A string and standard tuning. And the way that this pedal works, it is a digital pedal, but it only works with a certain range of notes. For example, if you're really high up on the fretboard, some of the effects won't sound correct, but then if you're really low, for example, like on a bass, lower than the A string, the effect won't sound good as well. So I've actually tried it on bass, and to be honest, it's not really my cup of tea, it's just not. We don't need that. We got a guitar, and the guitar we've got today is this Ibanez ICTB721. Alright, so without further ado, I'm going to demonstrate how the pedal works. So we're going to start on effect 1, which is orchestra, which, you guessed it, it's going to give you an orchestral sound. That is not an orchestral sound because the pedal's not on. There we go. That is cool. Come on, you can't tell me that that's not cool. That's absolutely amazing. You can hear that the guitar and the effect of the pedal is coming in together. And the pedal tracks really well. It's really good with chords. That's just so cool, you know? And like I said before, because of the way the controls work, you have a lot of control and how to control your signal. So if you dropped out the guitar signal, and let's say you just put the effect up a little bit more. It's just so tasty. Like, I love this pedal. You don't understand. And in that same regard, you could even have the guitar signal all the way up, which, just so you know, having it all the way up does not boost your signal. It just has your signal up 100% through the pedal. If I turned it down a little bit to make it a little more mellow, so now to go even further with something like that, you can actually turn the attack maybe a little further down to have the effect come in a little quicker, have the sustain all the way up, and it'll trail into the other chords. So this allows for really nice fluid chord changes where all the notes are kind of flowing into each other without a gap. Because when the sustain is low and you're switching between a lot of chords, it can sound a little bit choppy. Might actually be easier to hear if I turn this all the way down, the guitar's volume. I'll put the effect all the way up, just because I can. See how the notes really fade in and out of each other, like really smooth? Now, if I turn the sustain all the way down, this is an extreme way, but listen to how the notes fade in and out. And that's just from me lifting my fingers, not even doing any muting. So obviously if you like mute notes with your hand, like, you know, whatever, let's say you do it like this. So you see it like cuts out really hard, but then if you put the sustain up, all the way up, so you see it like fades in and out. There's still a little bit of a gap, but it's just because I was playing really slow. So if you're playing at like a normal speed, it helps to fill in the little gap so it sounds really seamless. Just to show you something else, if you have the attack all the way up, let's say the sustain's in the middle, now when I pluck, it's going to be more of a delay before the notes actually before the pedal actually makes the effect active. And personally, I like having both of these all the way up if I'm going for something like that, because the attack slows in, it like swells the effect in almost like a volume knob. And then the sustain lets it meld together. Meld. I don't even know if that's the right word. But basically the notes flow in just like I was saying before. And this sounds really cool when you combine it with guitar, because you can have your guitar signal be the main star of the show, which it should be because guitar, and have the effect coming in behind it, where it's almost like you have an actual orchestra behind you. So if I play the same thing again, see what I mean? So it's almost like you actually have the orchestra coming in right behind you to kind of support and add oomph and essence and like ambience and stuff to your guitar sound. This is the main reason I bought the pedal. But don't think that you can only do chords and stuff. You can also play faster, more melodic kind of things with single notes. The pedal actually tracks really well with things like that, even bends. If I put everything back to the middle, I'll just show you real quick how that sounds. So if I'm going to play something quick, something simple, don't mind whatever I'm playing. I'm just trying to show you how the pedal works. So, doing that again. Not the best example of the bends, but the bends do track really well. If I put the attack down, when you're playing single notes and playing fast things like that, the attack is better to have low so that it tracks right alongside your playing. It even tracks the bending a little better too. And to further show that, I'll put the guitar signal all the way down, effect all the way up. Kind of messed that up, but you get the point. It tracks really nicely. In terms of speed, it depends on the effect that you're using, because each instrument you have to consider is going to respond a certain way. And some instruments weren't exactly intrinsically fast instruments. So like an orchestra isn't really something you'd associate with speed, but perhaps something like the cello, maybe you can play a little faster. Interesting. So there's one thing I should say before I start going through the rest of the effects. You have to think of these effects as the actual instruments. So don't think that you're trying to play guitar and just have the instruments behind you. The Mel 9 doesn't really work when you try to do that. You have to actually play each effect. And I say that as in, like, they're all gonna have their own settings in terms of attack and sustain to get it to sound realistic. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't sound like the instruments that you're emulating, but if you want to get close to that sound, you're gonna have to play around with the attack. So for example, something like the cello, if you're mainly going for something kind of like a quick melodic kind of thing, you have to have your attack low, because if you have your attack high, it's gonna just be messy and it's just not gonna really sound correct. If I put the attack high, the volume actually dropped significantly. I don't know why that is, but I guess it's because the attack is like fading in. Let's see. Yeah, so you might actually have to play around with it, just like I was saying, and try and get the best of whatever effect you're trying to accomplish. Then you also throw in your sustain into the mix so you can get it the way that you want. So if you want something cleaner, you're gonna have to keep that sustain low so each note can be heard clearly and doesn't trail into each other, making it sound messy in this regard. See, there's a clear distinction between each note versus if I have the sustain all the way up. Sounds a little more messy. Not like it sounds bad, but it's just, again, going back to what I said, trying to keep the instrument sounding like what the instrument is. And again, you can mix in guitar into everything that you do. If you want to do it like that. Personally, I just love using this pedal for big open chords because it just gives you a really cool sound when you're playing with big open chords. See what I mean? Oh my god, that just sounds so good. I don't even need the guitar signal. Get out of here. Let's listen to the Mel 9. It just sounds so cool. Another thing I should mention too, this pedal is very responsive, not just in terms of dynamics, but also in terms of output and what pickup you're using. So if you strike harder on the strings, the pedal's gonna respond with more volume and more essence of whatever effect you're using. So for example, notice that it goes in and out, the amount of output. And that's me literally just picking soft, picking harder, then really hard, and soft, and whatever. That was on the bridge. Let's try on the neck. Bridge. I guess you're not going to hear it so much with one note. But let me try the chords, because it is a big difference between the pickups. On the neck pickup, you have more roundness to the tone, and it's just a little fatter. Guess what also sounds like that? Your neck pickup. It's actually really cool because it's like, the pedal plays the way that you would expect your guitar to play. It responds exactly to what you're doing. This also goes into what I was saying. You have to think of these instruments as separate instruments or separate effects, because everything that you do is directly affecting how the overall sound is coming out. Real quick, I'm gonna go through some of the effects because I really want to jump to 8 and 9 to show you why I love this pedal so much. So we are on effect 3, which is strings. This is also another one that I really like. And see, so that was the neck pickup. So if you go to the bridge, So you can hear it that it accentuates more the, what's it called? The highs. As opposed to the neck. So it's cool, you know? It does it too when you're playing single note stuff too, but I guess I'm just not good enough to show you how that sounds. But let's see. Look at that. It was still sustaining. I wasn't even noticing that. It's just, I can't say it enough. I love this pedal. Anywho, so that's strings. Let's go to flute. Woo! You hear that? Even like just the slides, it tracks it really nice. Sorry, I'm just playing around, but you can hear how the bends track, and each instrument will track it differently. So let's see how the flute sounds with some chords. Sounds like a mystical forest with bunnies and magic toads, right? It's just, oh god, it sounds so cool. So that's flute. Let's go to clarinet. Fun fact, I used to play clarinet. I sucked. Man, that sounds, ooh. I never played the clarinet effect that much, and I actually like how that sounds. It's so different. So let's go to saxophone. All right. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really sound like a saxophone. Are you really getting this to make it sound like a saxophone? Are you? Because I'm not, but this sounds fun. I like this. I'm not playing anything really serious. I'm just, you know, messing around. It doesn't really sound like a saxophone to me, but it just sounds cool. Brass. Okay, there's a quick note I need to make about the brass setting. So when you're playing with the attack, it actually, besides just controlling the attack, it also controls the buzzing sound of their lips. Because you know when people are playing a brass instrument, they go all, and it kind of like helps to attenuate that sound. So, for example, actually sounds really cool. Nice. Let me go back. That's as a chord. I don't really like it as a chord, but it sounds kind of cool when you're playing it single. Weird, but you guys know me. I love my weird pedals. Now we're on to 8 and 9. Whoa. Okay. I know I kind of sped through those effects. Again, I really want to show you the main reason I bought this pedal. It's for 8 and 9, which is a low choir on 8 and high choir on 9. Listen to this. So good. Oh my god, you hear that? I'm gonna show you something, and if you can guess what song this is, it just shows how awesome you are. Gamers only. Let me turn the attack up. Was kind of hard, but if you know what song that is, ugh. So whatever, I'll just tell you. It's from Metroid Prime 2 Echoes for GameCube, and it's the title scene, the title track, like when you open the game and it plays that cool song. Having the ability to make a choir sound that sounds convincing on your guitar. Do I need to say more? Like, that's just so cool. I even wrote a song a long time ago when I got the pedal. I remember I wanted to get that kind of effect. When I heard about the pedal and saw what it could do, I literally bought it just to do the song. I'll just show you the part of the song. I'm not gonna play the entire song because it's mad work. But here's basically what it is. It's let me see if I can remember how I set this up. You're basically gonna have the effect coming in behind the guitar. And I was on the high choir, so I'll just skip to that real quick. Isn't that cool? Like, yo, what? Like, that's, oh my god, I can't say how much I love that effect. It just sounds so cool. It's not, I'm not gonna lie, it's not that cool when you're playing single notes. It's really not. That's not why I bought the pedal. I bought it to do like big chords. Like, even if I just did this. It just sounds so cool. So typically with the 8 and 9, it just depends on what I'm using. Depending on the kind of guitar I have and the pickups, I'll switch between 8 and 9 to activate certain parts of the choir. If I played this. So that's on the bridge pickup. Remember, we're on effect 9, that's the high choir. If I go to the neck pickup, as you can hear, like I said before, It gives you more of the rounded, thicker parts of a neck pickup. Now, if I go to low choir, you notice all you're hearing are the low parts of the choir. You don't even hear any of the high parts. Go to the bridge. There's a little bit more there, but it's not completely there. So I like that because you can kind of fine tune exactly what kind of choir you're going for with your pickups and the actual pedal itself. And then you fine tune how it responds with these two knobs and the volume with these two knobs. So it's like all inclusive, and it's just absolutely genius. I don't know how Electro-Harmonix came up with this, but absolutely awesome. So that's the end of this video. I just wanted to do something real quick to showcase this Mel 9. It is amazing. I don't even remember when I bought this. I bought it a couple years ago. A good amount of time, actually. This was probably, I think, my third or fourth pedal ever. I've never thought to sell it. I've always just cherished it. It's just been an absolute marvel of a pedal. Honestly, I think Electro-Harmonix knocked it out of the park with this. Do I recommend this pedal for everyone? No. Wow, shocker, huh? Because, you know, I love this pedal. I do love this pedal, but I think it's only really useful for someone who wants to get those giant soundscapes and doesn't want to use a keyboard or a synth. That's the benefit of having something like this, because if you're a seasoned guitar player, but all you know is guitar, it's hard to try and get your musical ideas across on a keyboard or a synth, or even in, like, you know, some digital software thing. Having something like this allows you to do all the musical stuff that you know, record it direct, and yeah, it may not sound as convincing as you may want in terms of the instruments and effects that it's trying to emulate. I think it sounds great for what it is. It has a really nice, quirky, vintage vibe to it. It just works. There's so many things that I could say that are so good about this. And if you're into any kind of ethereal, ambient, big, spacious, open sounding kind of music, I think that this is literally a no-brainer, even for the price tag of $200 something. I don't know how much it is. And if that costs too much, get it used. But you're not getting it from me because I'm never gonna sell this. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave me a like. Comment about what you thought about this pedal, if you own it or if you own something similar. This is absolutely wonderful. Whatever, I keep talking about the pedal. Subscribe if you want more content. Please let me know what you think about this, and if you have any pedals that you want me to try so that you don't have to try it. Anywho, take care, stay safe, and have a wonderful day.